I said, I, 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 I said out loud that if you're having fun, why stop? There's no reason to ruin anything in your life today. It's very important to go with your thoughts because I honor the wisdom of men and women and children of all ages. I honor your wisdom, and what you are thinking is very precious. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to other people because I'm weighing it to the matter of fact of how I feel about my own mind, thoughts, needs, um, even as I need again to use the washroom. Most people these days have learned the precious value of water and how important drinking is, period. You have to keep yourself isolated with enough fluid in your body. And it's practically more important than actual food if you think of intravenous or how thirsty your wagging tongue can get at looking at a cactus when you need a drink of water. Anybody could help you at that time. And so sometimes you just pray that I never forget to drink water or become lost and can't find a tap. Like I went through this and I kind of know what I'm speaking of, but also that I believe I grew up as a very dehydrated type of body, by which I believe there are people who have lost their lives. I'm saying how important it is. I believe there are people who have lost their lives due to dehydration. I noticed in some of my other videos and have mentioned it before how you have to really pull your shoulders back if you want to physically look like you're standing straight enough for best posture. Have you noticed at the medical centers if they have an image drawing of a human body, how straight to the side the protocol is to show the side view to stand, and usually they have a pregnant stomach. I knew something good was happening. It was going to come out of this conversation as I speak in memory of what I'm titling as a new video at 7:25 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Ontario, Canada. What a valuable number that one is. Walmart's big line of clothing, 7:25. Remember, everybody, I think they took it off the market and they may have initialized a new line title of, can I remember? It had something to do with O and a couple other letters or letters of alphabet or numbers. And it always reminded me of the OPP, possibly, Prissy Incorporated, the OPPI. I'm not sure exactly, but for sure it used to be 725 because I bought a few of those. And I think jeans could have been one. Really, even the I love telling the stories of my life. Yes, it is a pair of shorts if I can find them and look around in my large tickle trunk. Yes, this bachelor suite is actually quite large for a tickle trunk, by which, coming again to one of my favorite characters on TV in the past of a man's show, it was Mr. Dress Up. And coming back to the 725 line, it was men's shorts that I bought. And I want to find the pair that I had out recently. Probably is in the washroom, but I'm looking around seeing most of the things that I usually keep in my tub are on my bed. Not to lose this video, I will not lift this off because I've raised it on a roughneck plastic storage container, and then I have a pear box, a Washington Pears Blue Star fruit box, like empty, and there might be something in it, but it's sort of a flat surface that I can make my computer higher and my video screen. Where would those shorts be? I'll find them. I just want to know for sure. Are they 725 or a different line? But the whole point was telling you in video of my choice, using my mind, my choice of what to do with this time. You see what I mean? How important that is for your own life. What are you doing at this exact time? I the first thought of Slash after me. I wonder what he's exactly doing. I recommend, sir, and the whole world will love you for it. Me, for starters, will love if you do these kinds of videos. You have a lot of videos, a lot of performances on stage, on big stages, on big public stages where there were people present watching you and your band, or you and your other fellow cohorts of business, interviewers, shows, talk shows, or stage performances as a musician of um, several people together. So I'm just saying, in suggestion and advice to you, I would love to see your ongoing videos doing like this, where all of a sudden pop up. And it was like 5 minutes after he just recorded this. Remember who this man may be. He may be God the Father, the Godfather, the real Godfather I'm speaking of. Even in my dad would probably say, who knows? His spirit may have been offered the choice of who he wanted to come back as, in the ways of he had maybe a choice. And I'm saying maybe. You know how my mind can just wander off into creation. I love doing this. He maybe had the choice. God may have said, "Oh, Mr. Forsovich, Harry, you've done very well. You've hit my upper class list of kingdom people. Now you get the choice offer. Who do you want to come back as in?" He may have said, Slash. I never got to sing loud enough at church. For one thing, I was too shy, and my breath was not the best half the time. I couldn't remember the words because I had so many great grandchildren already on the way. I knew that maybe I left something unflushed in my toilet, and there's other things that I can't even think of that are on my mind, like how much are my bills? Um, so it took me a long time to die. I never wanted to let my life go. I wanted to keep on living for my wife so that I could die after her. She was not the same woman that I married, in the fact that she ended up in the hospital with a couple of strokes on her doctor's list. God only knows for sure. By faith, I'm hoping they fed her good food and not more drugs that may have killed her life, after she already suffered with strokes. The doctors advised her to take these pills that would get rid of water retaining in the flesh. I'm wondering, I don't recall my mother being a big salt person. She always was so careful at preparing the family meals. This woman, considering anybody who ever knew her, the family members probably most of all, and her husband, who is now deceased and passed on, but maybe that's exactly who Slash is now. Yes, and then maybe my mother said, "Oh, God awarded me after my death because I did die after my husband, and thank God he was there to end my life off because he was such a wonderful man." And I know she never discussed it, but was she always happy with her marriage? I wish I could have had conversations like that, really personable ones. I know that some of my older sisters did because they were closer to her. They were more responsible type of people where I was not as that much of that way. I was the youngest of 7 girls. And I never got married, so I was always kind of a single-minded person, very much to myself. I made wise choices some of the time and very poor ones the other times. And so I grew up much different than my other family members, and especially the girls, I'm just saying, because they are mothers of children, all of them, and I've never had the wonderment of enjoying my own child being born. I was never married and never had the pregnancy in my body. So when it comes down to wondering what I could do well with my life, it's probably my creative fantasy mind and how Slash may used to have been my dad, Harry Forsovich, and me, Kathleen Forsovich. My mother may have said, well, my daughter Kathleen. I know she showed me a picture of this man once. What is his name? Yes, Slash. I guess she showed me a picture of him in a magazine long, long ago. It's fairly soon after she graduated from college at about 28 years old. This magazine was on the kitchen table, and she opened it up and said something very personable. And she was never quite like that always, but the odd time she would say something very stunning and astounding, and I never knew what to say for sure, but I probably always kept praying for her, and like I do for all of my children. Love them so much, all 12 of them. And my 13th child, which I did miscarry, was not to be born, I guess, but as a miscarriage, and I realized how precious those first 12 were. Should I have not lost my 13th child, I was probably getting way up there in age, past 40 now, quite a bit past 40, I guess. And the doctors don't recommend having children probably after that age as much as they do in the first 20 years before that time. So, my 13th child, I was not able to conceive. But nevertheless, back to the conversation about me being my daughter, Kathleen, and how she showed me this picture of a man in a magazine, and I now am revealing, says Kathleen Forsovich, it was Slash that I did show my mother a picture of. And I said, that's the man I want to marry. I was 28 years old at the time. Or could that be false information? I'm remembering all of this and trying to fit years to match because I really did say that. Honest to God, I remember showing my mother a picture of him. If I had the magazine, I'll explain exactly which one it was, Slash. It was you. You took the whole room on that page, big fuzzy hair, big round glasses, and your nice lips and your beautiful whole head covered the whole page. It was probably one of the magazines that I collected of you, and maybe I was a little bit older than 28, but I did graduate from this school of college at about 28 years old, so maybe I was already 32 years old. Maybe it was after I came back from Los Angeles and was at home for the weekend, maybe. And so I'd love to know exactly when I told my mother that, but I know I did. And so she knew. She probably prayed about it and said, well, if this is meant to be, let it be. And so really, maybe my mother prayed on the throne when she died and her spirit was alive in front of the Almighty Father, and he asked, who would you like to come back as in a real living life and body? Maybe she said, my daughter Kathleen. So here we are in question. Saul Hudson is filled with his reborn spirit, along with Saul Hudson's own spirit of a man, still living. never have been reported as to have died yet for sure. He's still alive, the same boy. And same with Kathleen Persovich. But both my parents have died, and I just figure how else would God honor such a great thing to any one person alive or 82 people alive? I'm still inviting you, Saul, to get on video, like I advised you to make some of these kind of your own, or just call me and comment in my own little blogs there. See you soon. Goodbye, dear awesome.